Hello there. I hope you're doing great today. I know this is not your normal speech ambiance, but I thought it was important that I talk to you today about something that may be affecting you, that you may be unaware of. It may be holding you back from feeling better. It may be holding you back from being content. And it may just be holding you back from walking in peace. What am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about forgiving yourself. I am going to start right off with sharing a story with you. I remember a time when I was consumed in me, and I was living to have fun. I was self-seeking and not too considerate of others. I wonder if you can relate. But then I experienced a life-changing event that quickly taught me I needed to change. And see, from the time I was 16 to 19, I had a best friend named Heather as well. We hung out faithfully and we became family. Her mom and dad became my other parents, and I absolutely adored them. Her dad was especially important to me, though, because he made me feel like I was his own. We joked together, he gave me advice, we ate dinner together, and I even got disciplined by him. But my best memories were him and I watching basketball together. Our favorite team, the Chicago Bulls. Now, coming from a woman whose dad was inconsistent in her life, this man met the standards. Fast forward a couple years later, Heather and I both moved from our parents' homes. I had a baby, so I became a new mom, and I lived out of town. But one day, I was in town visiting, so I called Heather to see if I could come over and visit. She gleefully said yes, and she surprised me by telling me that her dad was on his way over to visit. You can imagine, my heart is filled with so much warmth and joy. I see it had been about 2 years since I last saw him, so this news was a big deal. And then Heather added words that really touched my heart. Now he can meet your baby. So I let her know that I needed to go somewhere first and then I'd be over after, but that never happened. You see, the somewhere I needed to go was to go visit a male friend. And since that male friend wasn't home, I got upset and I decided to leave town. Weeks later, I got word from Heather that her dad had died. The hurt, anger, and guilt conjoined together, causing me to be numb. I'd never see him again. I'd never share moments with him again. And I'd never be able to introduce him to my child. If only I could go back to that day and decide to choose him. I wonder if you have ever made a decision that you regretted. Have you ever avoided thinking about a situation because you made the wrong decision? Have you ever held unforgiveness in your heart, not knowing what it would do to you mentally, emotionally, and possibly even physically? You know, whether we are unaware or whether we like to accept it or not, when we don't forgive ourselves, or others for that matter, many emotions can develop that can sometimes be detrimental to our own well-being and or our relationships. However, there are actions we can take to resolve these issues. But first, I want to bring to your attention only some of the effects from holding that unforgiveness in. Studies have actually proven that holding on to unforgiveness can cause such conditions such as anxiety, depression, sleep deprivation, and even physical health problems. But I think it's important to point out that all of these conditions actually derive from feelings such as bitterness, sadness, anger, and worry. In my story, I allowed depression to develop from my feelings of sadness and guilt as they affected my regular happy self and my normal life activity. I played with my daughter less, and I wasn't present with her 100% because how can you be happy when sadness is competing for first place? Can you relate? You know, I knew I had to move forward. I had to forgive myself. I had to forgive my decision, and I had to forgive that I was selfish. Finally, there was a shift. But I tell you, it wasn't easy, but day by day, I made a deliberate, conscious decision to no longer hold on to that guilt and to focus on a positive thought instead. Truthfully, it wasn't hard to give up being selfish because it was as if that disappeared immediately, being replaced with compassion and humility. This tragedy changed my choices. Now, I would not ever miss an opportunity like that again, and I haven't yet. See, we can't take back tomorrow, but we can identify those defeating feelings so they don't manifest into conditions that may hurt us. We can look into a mirror and say, Heather, I forgive you for deciding not to go see George. And we can also humbly embrace these type of opportunities to learn and grow. Thank you, and God's abundant blessings on you.